There was a new twist to the raging #EndSARS protest on Thursday as some youth launched #EndInsecurityNow protest in Kaduna and Niger State. The youth who took to the streets in the two states said the federal government should scrap the controversial Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) and redeploy its operatives to tackle insurgency in the northeast and banditry in northwest and north central. Launching #EndInsecurity Now version of the protest in Kaduna, the protesters under the auspices of the coalition of northern groups CNG called for an immediate end to insecurity and killings in the region. They urged the federal government to deploy operatives of the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad (SARS) to combat kidnapping, armed banditry and terrorism in northern Nigeria. Leader of the protest and coordinator of the Kaduna chapter of the CNG, Saad Bako, said though they stand against reported harassment of citizens by the operatives of the disbanded SARS, the North's problem is not SARS but insecurity. He listed security occasioned by incessant killings by the bandits and terrorists as well as kidnapping of ransom as the North's major challenges. The protesters who stormed the streets of Kaduna around 9:30 a.m. marched from Muhammad Buhari Way to the House of Assembly through Ali Akilu Road. At the Kaduna State House of Assembly complex, they demanded immediate end to banditry, terrorism and kidnappings in northern Nigeria. The protesters carried placards and banners with various inscriptions saying the North is bleeding, stop the killings in the North, end Boko now, end banditry now, empower SWAT to end insecurity, all lives matter and stop rape now, among others. They were, however, prevented from gaining access by armed security personnel, but they converged on the Coronation Crescent, the road in front of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, preventing traffic flow. The protest vowed not to leave the road until the Speaker, Yusufu Zelani, listened to their demands. They said the armed security personnel should go after kidnappers and bandits instead of scaring innocent citizens. Zelan later addressed them through House spokesman, member representing Kachia State constituencies, Ahmed Tanimu. According to Bako, the protesters were out to protest the whole lot of things happening in the North. Bako said while they respected the right of those protesting against SARS in other parts of the country, the first SARS was not the problem of their region. Hence, they are resolved to come out to say enough of this whole shenanigans happening in their region. It's over or should be over. He said, we have come out to say the insecurity in our communities is no longer bearable. And before it will consume us all, we have come out to tell our elected representatives that we are dying and we need an end to this insecurity. Bako, however, presented the protesters' written demands to the representatives of the Speaker. Responding, the Speaker's representatives assured the protesters that their demands would be given consideration and actions would be taken on them. He urged them to be peaceful in their protests and avoid taking laws into their hands. The protesters were also at a Lugard roundabout where they continued singing. They later dispersed at about 1:30 p.m. with a promise to converge on the roundabout by 9 a.m. on Friday for continuation of the protest. In Minna, the Niger State capital, some youth held the #banditry_now protest. The group began their peaceful walk at about 9 a.m. from the Minna City Gate to the Minna Mobi roundabout. They held placards with inscriptions: end banditry, stop the killing in the North, fix our roads, and end bad roads in Niger, among others. The protesters were led by the North Central Coordinator of the Coalition of Northern Youth, CNY, Mohammed. He said they were protesting insecurity, bad roads, and asking for the deployment of SWAT to the north to fight banditry. Mohammed said youth were tired of bandit attacks as a lot of people have lost their livelihood and homes due to these incessant attacks, especially in Shiroro and Rafi local government areas of Niger State. The protesters bemoaned the low turnout, saying that despite the messages sent to people and groups in the state capital, they did not show up. Okay. Can you see? It's taking a different thing. I don't even know. Of course, maybe that is what is obtainable, and people really need they really need force. They need higher hand before they can get things done. Because when you know what you are supposed to do and you are not doing it, and you have to wait until people protest, until people tell you this and that, maybe that is just it's a political thing. Because they know all these problems are there. Until people begin to talk, begin to beg that you have to do this, you have to do that. But when people are paying taxes, nobody, you don't go after them. People just have to pay it. And once they pay that money, what do you use the money for? A lot of people are even complaining in this country that they're just paying the tax and yet they are not getting anything. They're not getting anything. Now, if it is even possible for them to stop paying tax, they will do that. Because these people are not using the tax for anything at all. You see now, the people who are complaining about hashtag Ñ1Ç, that they don't know what they are doing. But now it has opened other people's eyes. It has opened their eyes. Now they are doing hashtag this, hashtag that, hashtag this. You see what it's yielding positive results. Because these people, for a very long time, they've been quiet. You say, oh, they're all dying. That they because they've been keeping quiet. You are not supposed to talk. You are not supposed to do this. If you do that, and the way and manner as which this present government is going about this about protesters is something that is very, very pathetic, very, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. You can imagine. So it has now become something that people were beginning to look at. It's like protest is not good though. Protest is not good though, because any little thing now they will grab you. So with the protests from other regions, it's giving them an opportunity to be able to know that it is their right. It is their fundamental right to protest. But these people don't want it because they don't want to hear the truth. They want to continue to keep you at that low level. Well, the youth of Nigeria, please listen to me as I address you. God has given you this single opportunity. If you waste it by focusing exclusively on SARS, a mere symptom of a terminally ill and moribund Nigeria, and leaving the country uncured of its moral disease, you may not have another opportunity in your lifetime. That's a good one. Where God will destroy all idolatrous worshippers because he's a jealous God. Okay, with the way you guys are carrying and spreading all this whole thing, I'm really not on. I don't really understand. The process should also include the sack of all the service chiefs, and the president should adhere the will of the masses. And that is it. We just have to begin to enter another thing and begin to demand good governance, not only SARS. Of course, which is really results, positive results. They have already listed all the wants. And let's see whether the government is going to do that or not. So guys, leave your comment below and let's have your take on this.